Now, one of your arteries is called the widowmaker. The reason it's called the widowmaker is because if that blocks, you're dead, which makes a widow. So that's why they call it the widowmaker. Anyway, I thought, maybe he'd misheard the nurse, or maybe he'd misheard the doctor, and there weren't really that, 100% 90. But then he says every time he coughs, his heart stops. Well, no, I don't think so. If that was the case, they would have had him in, So I thought, well, and then I read his comments. On his comments, somebody said, what happened to the offer made to pay all your bills by Bangkok Travel? And there was no offer. That's what he said. I thought, hold on a minute. So I looked on Facebook, on his Facebook page, and there it was. The offer was on Facebook that I made. I'll just show you. Here we go. So, there's the offer on Facebook. So, I put in the comments again, whoa, hang on a minute, I did make the offer, and it still stands. Get in touch. All of a sudden, he's seen it. Wow. And he said, can you email me? So I emailed him. There's the comment. There's his message. So, we're up to the emails. So I emailed him. And he emailed me back. And I said to him, I would cover his costs and his aftercare up to 2 million baht. Now you're all saying, whoa, am I mad? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm crazy. But I know what he was going through, or I thought I knew what he was going through because I'd been through it. So I thought I knew what he was going through. So rather than him worry about money, I was willing to cover the cost. So I showed him that the money would sit in there in my Bangkok bank account. So anyway, so I says to him, I've got the money sitting in the Bangkok bank account. And all he has to do is, So anyway, there's just to prove to anybody, there's the Bangkok bank account, right? So there it is. So I said to him, all I need is the details and I can make the payment. So he sends me an email back. On his email he says, are you going to put it into my bank account or pay the hospital directly? So I thought, well, there's no way I'm going to put 2 million baht into his bank account. I'm just not going to do it. Not after reading all the comments about him. Maybe he's a con man, or maybe he's this, or maybe he's that. So I thought, well, I want to put it in, pay the hospital directly. And I left it at that. I asked him for the details. I told him that my wife talks Thai. Well, she is Thai, so she talks Thai, obviously. And that talking to the hospital would be no problem. All I needed off him was the hospital phone number, the person who I needed to talk to about it, and obviously his full name. Now, I know how easy it is to pay an hospital bill because when my father-in-law was ill in hospital, mother-in-law just rang me up and within 2 hours I'd paid his hospital bill and he was allowed to go home. No problem. Not a problem at all. So I waited. I've not heard anything. Not a word. I've had a lot of bad, nasty comments. Really nasty messages, some really stinkers. There's some evil people out there. Calling my wife everything from a pig to a monkey and everything else. Calling me every name under the sun. Calling me, everything. But I don't know why, because all I wanted to do was help a fellow human being out. That's all I wanted. I didn't want anything else, you know. But hey ho. So I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and nothing. Not a thing. It's been what, 4 days now. So somebody said to me today, well, if you're that bothered, why don't you ring the hospital up and make the payment directly? That's what somebody said. And somebody accused me of doing this just to get more subscribers. Oh wow, my subscribers have gone up by 32. I've got 40 subscribers. Now, I don't know how any of you realise, but if anybody's bothered, not that anybody is, and I'm definitely not, but if you ever wanted to make money on YouTube, you need thousands of subscribers, not 42 or 40. I'm not bothered about my subscribers. I do this because I have family living in Australia who watch my YouTube channel because they live in Australia, and it enables them to see my videos. And that's why I do it. I don't do it for anybody else. I do it for me. But I'm genuine. Anyway, so I thought, well, maybe I should ring the hospital up and find out what's going on. Maybe he is too ill to let me know. So my wife went to the hospital. This person is being released. He's being discharged. There is no operation. Now, when I had my quadruple heart bypass and leading up to my quadruple heart bypass, I was in ICU. I was in intensive care. I was linked up to everything from thingy to thingy. I was not allowed to even leave the hospital for something to eat. I was peeing in a bottle. I was peeing in my bed. I wasn't even allowed to use the toilet. And yet this man's being discharged. And that's after my wife rings the hospital, because somebody said we should do it, which we did. Now, is the hospital lying to me and he's not being discharged? I don't know. Or is he genuine being discharged and his injury in his heart attack didn't exist? If it didn't exist, why did he say it did? Why did he say it? Did he stop talking to me because I wouldn't put my money into his bank account? In other words, I'll leave it up to you to decide. Is this man a con man? Was he trying to con money out of everybody? Because I also hear that somebody else offered him the money. Somebody else offered him the full amount of the money as a loan over 2 years. And he refused it. He refused that as well. I'm not saying any more. I really don't want to go any further into this. And I'm going to put this video up because that to me is the biggest scam in Thailand. I'm going to end it here. If anybody's got any questions, ask me a genuine question. If you're going to start putting horrible hate comments on there, don't bother. Because after a week I'll delete the whole video anyway.